Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today on this August 13th? Welcome to Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner on 12OZSportsRadio.com. I am your host, Glenn Kaplan. I apologize for the technical difficulties to start today's show. So let's jump right into the 94th show here. I hope you all enjoying your week. And we are only 6 more shows away until magic number 100. Use promo code 12OZSports, all caps for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. Let's begin with Columbus and Tampa Bay. In that contest, 5 overtimes. That contest was the 4th longest game in NHL history. The longest game in NHL history was back in 1936, March 23rd, when the Detroit Red Wings played the Montreal Maroons. Lasted 116 minutes and 30 seconds. And in this game, Brayden Point scores the game-winning overtime goal with 9:33 left in the 5th overtime. Assisted by Nikita Kucherov and Mikhail Sergachev, who I thought were both fantastic in the game. And Jonas Korpisalo never saw the shot. Finished the game with a Stanley Cup playoff record of 85 games. And these two teams are playing each other again today. 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Not ESPN, NBCSN, excuse me. And Seth Jones also set his own record of 65:06 ice time. That's long for a defenseman to be on the ice that long. And I can't imagine the durability and the strength it must have taken to play 65:06. That 65:06 ice time, I said Jones, it's like he easily broke that record. And he also made a difference on the back end. So the goals scored in this game. Pierre-Luc Dubois, 2:39 in the first, assisted by Alexander Texier, Seth Jones. Brayden Point, 6:27, assisted by Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hedman. Second period goals, Olivier Borkstrand, 19:12, assisted by Pierre-Luc Dubois and Dean Kukan. That was off the end boards. Third period, Yanni Gourde, 23 seconds in, assisted by Brian McDonough and Blake Coleman. That goal was scored due to Jonas Korpisalo thinking he had it saved, but then it went off his skate, though. Andrei Vasilevsky, 61 saves in the game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Both of these goalies, I thought both of these goalies should have been checked for pine tar and Velcro. But I guess they were just on their A game. And then I don't blame the Columbus Blue Jackets for being upset because Cam Atkinson, I thought they were going to call a penalty shot, but no penalty on the play on. Seth Jones, 65:06 play time. He didn't want to talk about it, neither did Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Jones, 65:06. He just didn't, I guess they didn't want to talk about it. We'll see what happens in game 2. Also, Korpisalo broke Kelly Hurdley's 73 save record for the New York Islanders on April 18th, 1987. This game was 90-27, though. That 90 minutes and 27 seconds. Had Columbus won this game instead of Tampa, they would have spelled much more trouble for the Lightning, but the Blue Jackets will bounce back and make this a series nonetheless. So the game started at 3:10, ended 9:23. People were saying, oh, it started at 3:09, ended 9:22. Doesn't make a 2-cent difference whatsoever about it. And because of that game, the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins were supposed to play at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. But because of it, their game had to be moved to Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. And just to let you know, the game went to not 1, but 2 overtimes. But this time around, just 1:13 into double overtime, Patrice Bergeron scored the game-winning goal, and the final score was 4-3. Shocker was assisted by David Pastrnak and Brad Marchand. First period goals. Carolina, Joel Edmondson, 13:02, assisted by Teuvo Teravainen and Sebastian Aho. Boston, David Pastrnak, 17:45, assisted by Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron. Shocker that first line simply carries this hockey club. Second period, Charlie Coyle, 4:38, unassisted, and Rod Brind'Amour, man oh man, had his comments about the referees, called the NHL basically trash because he thought Peter Mrazek had the puck and whatever else. And they ruled it a goal, and he wasn't happy, and he got fined a ton of money. Actually, $25,000 isn't that bad, but yeah. So, and then they respond. Brock McGinnis shorthanded goal, 4:59 unassisted. As I was tweeting and some other people were tweeting or sharing on their Facebook pages, puck don't lie. Third period goals, Boston, David Krejci, 59 seconds. Assisted by Andre Case and Charlie McAvoy. Carolina Hurricanes, Hayden Fleury, 9:49, assisted by Vincent Trocheck. So, Peter Mrazek, 36 saves for the Carolina Hurricanes. Tuukka Rask, 25 saves for the Boston Bruins. Let's see if this goaltending matchup for James Reimer versus if there will be James Reimer versus Yaroslav Halak tonight for Rod Brind'Amour and Bruce Cassidy and crew, though, nonetheless, because it wasn't supposed to be a back-to-back situation, but because of the circumstances, this is going to have to be the case. Next up, the Islanders and the Capitals. Now, what I posted last night, before I get into this game recap, as all people do talking about their sports shows, and as I posted my sports show thing, one of my topics today was, and I'm going to discuss in just a minute about this, did Braden Holtby cost the Washington Capitals in Game 1 against the New York Islanders? So there was a comment on the page. That I happened to be reading, and I felt like I wanted to respond to it, and I didn't. The comment was basically saying something about, the media, typical media talking about Braden Holtby, costing them, da-da-da. Yes, that's my job to do. And if you simply don't like me talking about if Braden Holtby didn't cost him or not, then either tune out or too stinking bad. Because you don't get what you want in life sometimes. Especially when it comes to the media, that's our jobs. And no, we're not trying to spread fake news. Or we're not trying to give bad names to people either. We're simply saying, did they do their job or did they not do their job? It's as simple as that, and there's nothing else we could do about it. That's what we do in this business, is to talk stuff about us. What do you want us to do? So now let me get into this. So this game was supposed to start at 3 Eastern on NBCSN, but it was pushed up to 4:04 due to double overtime between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins, and it happened really didn't affect the later game, which I will talk about next with the Montreal Canadiens and Philadelphia Flyers. So this matchup, in reality, is more about Barry Trotz and Todd Reeder and his head coaches. And it was ugly to start. It was completely filthy and muck and yuck. You mean it was scrappy from the beginning. Anders Lee, Tom Wilson, whoever else, they wanted to scrap it out. It was a scrap start. And the Capitals got dirty in the paint on a power play, which led to 2 TJ Oshie. Goal scored in the second period at the 5:27 mark and the 11:18 mark. And the first goal was assisted by Evgeny Kuznetsov and John Carlson. And Tom Wilson and John Carlson assisted on the second goals. And then what happened after that, it seems like the Islanders had no momentum whatsoever. And then Matthew Barzal happened. Yes, the playmaking of Matthew Barzal happened. And that's why the Islanders simply got back into this hockey game. And if you truly don't believe that the speed and skill of Matthew Barzal doesn't matter, you are 100% wrong. If you did not watch that Islanders-Capitals game yesterday, Matthew Barzal made a difference. And he's their best player. And it's not even close. And let me tell you that Barzal, the heartbeat heart soul, the New York Islanders, he's going to have to carry this team a lot. And Anthony Beauvillier started to discover his game. So in the second period, with around 1:08 to go at the 18:52 mark, Jordan Eberle scored. It was a knuckle puck, and it was assisted by Matthew Barzal. And Braden Holtby should have had it, but he completely snagged and missed the puck. Well, too bad, too sad. And it gets worse in the third period. The second goal is not his fault because that was basically what happened on the first two goals with the Capitals, with TJ Oshie basically being scrappy. So the second goal, which was scored by Anders Lee just 41 seconds and assisted by Ryan Pulock and Brock Nelson, that was just basically a paint job in and out muscle job by the Islanders there. But this is where Holtby cost them the game. You're on a power play. Holtby tries to play the puck. He tries to get it to Alex Ovechkin, who was completely invincible yesterday. Passes it. Well, Ovechkin, the heartbeat heart soul of the Capitals, but then he tries to pass it to one of his teammates, and then he gets picked off. And Josh Bailey scores a shorthanded goal, 6:52, into the third period, assisted by Brock Nelson. And then Anthony Beauvillier scores a goal, making 4-2, assisted by Josh Bailey, Matthew Barzal at the 11:55 mark. That was a bad loss by the Capitals. The Islanders had nothing going. And then they just blew it all sky high and gave it away. And the thing is that the Islanders and the Capitals exactly had 27 shots on net. Semyon Varlamov with 24 saves for the Islanders. And Braden Holtby, 23 saves for the Capitals. And let me just say this. Yes, that was Holtby's reason why they lost. Now, had it been like 2-2, say he doesn't give that up and they lose in overtime and it was a good shot, okay, then I'm not going to blame Holtby. Simply because he didn't handle the puck well and it caused a turnover, yes, I'm going to blame him for the loss. I wouldn't have blamed him if, say, like it was he didn't try to play it, but if it was just like a great shot, instead of trying to force the play, then I'm going to say, okay, better Islanders shot. Islanders wanted it more. But I'm not going to simply say that the Islanders wanted it more yesterday. I got to say it's more bad Capitals than good Islanders, simply for the sole reason that A, the Islanders didn't look good and really didn't deserve to win the hockey game. No, they didn't deserve to win that hockey game. That was bad Capitals. And speaking of bad Capitals, Nicholas Backstrom injured. We don't know the severity of his injury. Scott Abraham, ABC7. WJLA of Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia. In the Arlington area, it's like, he was like, we don't know the severity of injury. I didn't see an update from head coach Todd Reederin this morning. So we'll see how serious it is. Plus, Lars Eller is out right now due to the birth of a child. And he's out. We got to see what that depth at the center position's weak right now for Washington. And that's a huge, huge problem. And especially if they lose game 2 tomorrow night. And they got to figure out something with Grayson Class quickly. Or they're not going to be. Or they may be out for a second consecutive year of a first round exit. And these two teams, the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals, do not like each other very much. Next game recap, Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers. So not a lot of goal scoring, and I'll be honest here, Flyers really didn't look that great last night, but once again, Carter Hart bails them out. And what a surprise. The Heart and Heart Soul of the Philadelphia Flyers bails them out. What a shock. Not a surprise, because Carter Hart finished the game with 27 saves. Carey Price finished with 29 saves for Montreal. Let's see. Philadelphia scoring .854 in the first period. Jakub Voracek on the power play, assisted by Ivan Provorov and Claude Giroux. Second period, Montreal ties the game at 1 on the power play. Shea Weber, power play goal, assisted by Jonathan Drouin and Brendan Gallagher, 14:38. And then just 16 seconds later, Joel Farabee for the Philadelphia Flyers, assisted by Travis Sanheim at the 14:54 mark. And the Weber goal, 14:38. Yep. So at the 14:38 to 14:54 mark, a span of 16. Yep. In that span, it's just like, how is it excusable for the Montreal Canadiens when you're playing the top team to give up a goal in 16 seconds? Because that's 16. Yeah, you just can't do that. It's as simple as that. It's not very good to give up a goal in a span of 16 seconds. Because, and I'm going to say this about the Flyers, even if they play this scrappy and don't look that great, they could probably find a way to win this series. But your potential next opponent may be a team like, I don't know, New York Islanders, Carolina Hurricanes, or the Boston Bruins. And let's just say that those three teams are a lot better than Montreal is. And I don't know how the Pittsburgh Penguins lost to them. I'm going to get to their moves in just a minute. But the fact that the Montreal Canadiens gave them a scrappy game, Montreal's like, hey, we can maybe take this to 6 or 7. And that's not a good thing for the Flyers if that series lasts that long. And especially if they have to play a team like the Bruins in the second round. Because the Bruins will be knocking on that door. And you all know it. Flyers can win this round. And they may win it. Maybe they win every game 2-1. But you better pick up the scoring. And you better pick up the pace against and look much better against the Boston Bruins, Carolina Hurricanes, New York Islanders Hockey Club. Because if you don't, you might get bounced in the second round. And I know it was just one game, but I can't say that the Flyers don't look that great last night. And to say that the Flyers look dominant in a 2-1 win is just completely blindsided. And no, I'm not trying to hate on the Philadelphia Flyers whatsoever. I watched that game and so did you. Montreal stymied them. I know both of their teams, they got basically an even amount of shots off. But let's just not pretend here that Philly didn't look flat for quite a bit. I thought they looked flat at various moments in the game. So did Montreal. I see it how it is. I got to make it even and fair and square. But if the Philadelphia Flyers make this series go 6 or 7, they're going to pay the price in the second round. The Flyers got to get out of this series in a clean sweep or no more than 5. Because if they don't get out of this series quickly, then they're asking for problems in the next round. Because you're going to be facing much better hockey teams that actually can put the puck in the back of the net. And then you're going to have to score 4 or 5. And I'm not saying that Carter Hart can't shut him down for a game or 2. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are going to be some nights that the Flyers have to score. That's all I'm saying. The Flyers some nights are going to have to score the puck. Because if the Philadelphia Flyers don't mix it up, because I've seen this story before with Alain Vigneault teams, and this happened with the New York Rangers. You win a lot of 2-1, 1-0 gritty games, and you can't win the 5-4 games. simply because you worry too much about grit, because you're playing too many gritty games, and in those shootouts, you simply can't win them. I saw this happen with the New York Rangers when he was coaching with the Rangers, and it also happened with the Canucks. And I was an impression win by Vancouver last night, by the way, beating St. Louis 5-2. But in reality, I've seen this story before by Alain Vigneault coach teams. Is that in the playoffs, they win these Team 1 scrappers. But when they have to play a 5-4, 6-5, 7-6 game, they don't win them simply because of these styles that Vigneault possesses, and it does not work in the NHL. And yes, I know that he's been to 2 Stanley Cup finals. I get it. But, there's a reason why he didn't win a cup. Maybe it's the time. My Uncle Frank thinks so, but we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Speaking of former Alain Vigneault teams, so the New York Rangers win the NHL Draft Lottery. And all you conspiracy theory people, when the first 4 ping pong balls got in, I don't remember the exact order. I'll just say Florida Panthers, Winnipeg Jets, Minnesota Wild, and Pittsburgh Penguins. I'll just say those 4 teams. And then the commissioner has to confirm it was Jamie Hirsch. And it was like, she does a great job on the NHL Network. And Bettman's like, she's like to Bettman, can you confirm that this is the so-and-so ball? And he's like, yes. But in fact, when it got to the New York Rangers, that the guy got a little happy early. That he had to drop the New York Rangers ball thing into the lottery machine before it even got confirmed, which makes this interesting conspiracy theory that they rigged the lottery for the Rangers to land Alexis Lafreniere. Well, it is what it is. And I know the Rangers fans are talking up dynasty, but we've seen this story before that they've only won, 1 cup in the last 77 years? That's how many cups they've won? They haven't won many. And you're all thick now that they're going to win a dynasty. Remember, want to know what the New York Rangers are like in hockey? They're like the Dallas Cowboys. They're the accident waiting to happen every year in hockey when they make the playoffs. Just when you think expectations get high. And then every single year, Rangers fans let them down just like their Cowboys fans when the pressure mounts the most. And the fact that we're talking dynasty for the Rangers is despicable because these guys haven't even been together yet. And yet they're most likely going to draft Alexis Lafreniere, number 1 overall, and he's going to train for the NHL, not juniors. But let's be real here. The fact of the matter is that we got to see how good he is. They're saying he's good. What if he's a Neil Yakupov? And that would be so typical of the New York Rangers, who have not landed a number 1 pick since 1965. And people are like, you're calling the NHL lottery rigged? But then yet they got the number 2 pick last year, yet Capo Caco. And they also got Keandre Miller and some other overseas players from like Russia and Finland. And then they also got some other key young players. You got Igor Shesterkin, Alexander Georgiev. That's the net. And then you have Adam Fox. He's good. He's really good for the Rangers. And then Lias Anderson and Filipino. They're not bad either. So, Tony DeAngelo, who did play for the New York Rangers, he's a pending free agent. My Uncle Frank doesn't think he's going to come back. He said he thought the lottery was rigged and a question mark. And I'm curious as to why he would say something like that. Which is very, very, very interesting on his part. But let's not be fooled here that he's probably a little mad and upset, but it's understandable. Ay, ay, ay. Next up, finally, Pittsburgh, you finally had the guts to finally make this move. So the Pittsburgh Penguins are now starting the complete offseason of the overhaul. After losing in 4 games, due to Montreal Canadiens in the qualifying round, General Manager Jim Rutherford decided not to bring back assistant coaches Mark Recchi, Jacques Martin, and Sergei Gonchar. Head coach Mike Sullivan is also brought back, but this is only the beginning of the long offseason for this franchise, though, nonetheless. There will also be a ton of changes, player changes, this upcoming offseason, though, nonetheless. Recchi was awful coaching a power play. Wasn't the same when they left Rick Tocchet. Oh, yeah, Rick Tocchet was their coach, assistant coach 2017-2018, before he left for the Arizona Coyotes. And, man, they got dismantled 3-0 yesterday by the Colorado Avalanche. And Tocchet basically called out his players. Very Sullivan-esque like. So then, they did not win a playoff series in 2 years with Mark Recchi as the power play coach, and I'm sure everyone in Pittsburgh's like happy that Recchi's not coming back, and I don't blame them. And then Jacques Martin, he was good with not the power play, but the penalty kill. But he's also 67 years old, though. He's been there since 2013. And the biggest surprise of them all, though, nonetheless, was Sergei Gonchar. Friend of mine and I, we were actually thinking that Sergei Gonchar was actually going to take over the power play. But he's not taking over the power play now. Now I'm curious to see what direction the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to decide to go in. They've done this with, I gotta say, though, that when Mike Sullivan spoke to the media yesterday, he spoke with grace and class, basically. He was happy. He was happy about a lot of things. Well, he mentioned how he were his friends. And I don't blame him. I understand how he feels, but it's a business at the end of the day. So who could they potentially bring in as some assistants? I think they're going to either bring in Gerard Gallant, Peter Laviolette, or Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins head coach Mike Vellucci. Or maybe there's some others out there that I don't know about, though, nonetheless. So there's a culture change coming to Pittsburgh, even though, yeah, they made it in the playoffs for 14 straight years, and it's going to be like, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes coming. And this is the beginning. Changes are coming to this town. And I don't blame them. Because you're going to see Samuel Poulin, Nathan Legare next year. Not Kalen Addison. Someone had to remind me that Kalen Addison got traded a while. It's like, oh yeah. But Pierre-Olivier Joseph may be there as well. Oh, and they're also keeping the 15th overall pick in the 2020 NHL draft. Also, with Martin being 67 years old, maybe he retires. I don't know. And then Gonchar is going to definitely be picked up. Maybe he gets picked up by the Dallas Stars. He's from Dallas. Guess he lives in the Dallas area now. So Gallant fired by the Florida Panthers earlier in the year. Not the Florida Panthers. Gerard Gallant was fired by the Vegas Golden Knights to be replaced by Pete DeBoer. Peter Laviolette was fired by the Nashville Predators earlier in the year, and he was replaced by John Hines. And then if Vellucci leaves Scranton Wilkes-Barre, then they're going to have to figure out who their new head coach is going to be. He's brought over from the Charlotte Checkers. He was in Carolina's farm system. I'm surprised they didn't keep him. But then yet again, you have Rip Brind'Amour. And yet again, he's a terrific head coach. And then you also made trade Jack Johnson, Chris Letang. No, they're not trading Evgeny Malkin. I know Rutherford doesn't want to trade a core. Crosby, Malkin, not Kessel. Kessel's not there anymore. But Gonchar. Gonchar's absence is going to mean a lot of things. And Rutherford was critical of Justin Schultz. He's not coming back. Connor Sheary, Patrick Marleau, I don't think they're coming back either. You're going to see a much younger and faster and more hungrier team. And I don't know if I'm not sure if they're keeping Patrick Hornquist. Patrick Hornquist, I like Patrick Hornquist for Pittsburgh. The problem is, he's the same age as Crosby. He's making $5.3 million for the next 3 years, and I'm sure Rutherford's going to want to shed that contract. And I'm not saying that Hornquist isn't hungry. Maybe you keep Hornquist around. But maybe a better coaching staff next year for Sullivan is a good idea, and I think it is. And no, you shouldn't have, and no, Rutherford would have made a fatal mistake had he fired Sullivan. And I'm glad those are the only two that are back. Am I a little critical that Gonchar gone? Sure. Can I kind of understand that Martin's gone? Sure. But I thought he did a good job with the penalty kill. I totally understand why Recchi's gone. Because Recchi was just a flat-out joke, and one went out through one ear, went out the other with Mark Recchi. Penguins didn't give a rip about what Recchi. You think Recchi was actually a good coach? He's a better player than he is a coach. And he's probably better at player development. Let me say this about Recchi, though. He was good at player development. He's just not a good assistant coach. There's a difference. You could be good at working at a guy's game, say like one-on-one instructions. That's what Recchi did. But as a group, as a power play, you're working with more people. You're working with like a good group, and that's why Recchi probably can't be a head coach. Because a power play, you get to work with more people. And for player development, you could just work with a player one-on-one, and that's probably what Recchi did. There's some rumors that Recchi may stay in the organization in the front office, which I think is okay, because what he probably does have is an eye for talent. What he doesn't have is an eye for a whole group instruction, if you can understand the difference. Though, nonetheless. And between our very eyes, this team will probably be very different next year, though, nonetheless. Moving on to the NBA. The race for the 8th seed is absolutely chaos today. So, all four of the Portland Trail Blazers, Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns, and San Antonio Spurs are all playing each other. They are all playing each other today. Portland's 34-39, Memphis is 33-39, Phoenix is 33-39, and San Antonio's 32-38. And so my brother Jake's like to me, why don't all four of those teams just 8-11, 9-10 play each other once, and then to win those two games play each other and then play the Lakers? No, that's not I don't think NBA Commissioner Adam Silver thought this was going to happen when the NBA restart happened. And personally, the 9-8 thing is still good. Because let's see the scenarios. Because everyone right now is talking about, oh, the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers aren't going to get the Lakers fits in the first round. Hey, da-da-da. They could still miss the 8 and 9 altogether. In case you're wondering, so probably around 11:30 tonight, we are going to find out what the playing game is. And all the other matchups are set in the NBA, and I'm going to preview those on Monday. And I'll give you a quick glimpse as to what just the matchups are. So, Portland gets the 8th seed with the win, or a three-way combination of Memphis, San Antonio, Phoenix all lose. 9th seed, two of those teams lose. Memphis, 8th seed, win in Portland loss. 9th seed, win or Phoenix/San Antonio loss. Phoenix, 8th seed, win in Memphis and Portland lose. 9th seed, win in either Memphis or Portland lose. San Antonio Spurs. Now this is probably the most interesting of them all. The Spurs get the 8th seed with a win, and Memphis and Portland lose. 9th seed with the win, and either Memphis or Portland lose. This is going to be chaos today, as in the final day nonetheless, because tomorrow, the last 4 games absolutely mean nothing. And my brothers Jake's like, to me, are any of them playing each other? Like, no. So let's see. So the matchups, the rest of the matchups, the Lakers are the 1 seed, and they're 52-18. 8 to be decided. 5 seed Houston Rockets, 44-27. They may be out with Russell Westbrook, and that's going to be a huge loss. Versus number 4 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. at 44-27. Number 7 seed Dallas Mavericks at 43-31. Versus the number 2 seed the Los Angeles Clippers at 48-23. Number 6 seed Utah Jazz at 43-28 versus the number 3 seed Denver Nuggets at 46-26. The next in the Eastern Conference, the number 8 seed the Orlando Magic at 32-40 versus the number 1 seed the Milwaukee Bucks at 56-16. The number 5 seed the Indiana Pacers at 44-28 versus the number 4 seed the Miami Heat at 44-28. Number 7 seed Brooklyn Nets 35-36 versus number 2 seed versus Toronto Raptors at 52-19. Number 6 seed Philadelphia 76ers 42-30 versus number 3 seed Boston Celtics at 48-23. So, we'll see when I preview these series on Monday what's going to happen. But I'm just going to dive into a couple of quick things quickly. Monday, the Los Angeles Lakers concerns. Simply, despite winning 124 1-on-1, 124-121 on Wednesday night against the Denver Nuggets on a Kyle Kuzma three-pointer with 0.4 seconds remaining. This team looks like they're in trouble. LeBron James and Anthony Davis need to be better. LeBron is like, if me and AD don't play well, Kuzma doesn't only have to be our third best player, but our second best player in order to win a championship, especially if they have to play a team like the Portland Trailblazers first round of the NBA playoffs. So nonetheless, here are some of the key stats. PJ Dozier, 18-4-4, 4 steals as well. No, 1 steal, 71.4% shooting from the field. Michael Porter Jr., 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 100% shooting from the field. Kyle Kuzma, 25-6-3, 68.8% shooting from the field, 2 steals. LeBron, 29 points, 1 rebound, 12 assists, shot 60% from the field. That was for that game. And then, I talk about how deep this Denver Nuggets team is because I truly believe if the Los Angeles Lakers or the Los Angeles Clippers don't make the finals, I think it's going to be this Denver team. Jeremiah Grant and Monty Morris. You also have Michael Porter Jr., PJ Dozier, to Mason Plumlee, to Torrey Craig, and much more. Like Will Barton and Gary Harris Jr. have yet to play. You got Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Paul Millsap are currently their best players right now. And then you also got Bol Bol, who's a potential beast for this franchise moving forward. And then Mike Malone's a solid head coach. As I said, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers don't get to the finals. It'll be this team. And I believe this team's going to find a way to win the NBA Finals one day. They won't be a dynasty. Let me just say that right now about Denver. They will not be a dynasty. But they will be like the Toronto Raptors of last year, potentially the Dallas Mavericks of 2011. As I just said, but they could be for sure the next version of Toronto Raptors, though nonetheless, or the Dallas Mavericks back in 2011. And they lost 124-111 yesterday, but I don't think they really cared about. I think they wanted the 3 seed more than the 2 seed because I don't think they wanted to face Luka Doncic. Well, I think this Denver Nuggets organization, with the way they drafted recently, they have done a bunch of things with grace and class. I just like the way that they have done things recently. So in last night's game, losing 124-111, Grant, 25 points, 64.3% from the field, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Porter Jr., 11 points, 40% from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. Kawhi Leonard, 26 points, 56.2% shooting from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Paul George, 27 points, 45% shooting from the field, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. And then, yesterday, Toronto beat the Philadelphia 76ers, 129-127. That was a fantastic game. Nick Nurse didn't even really coach that game for the Raptors, but Brett Brown did for the 76ers. It looked like Raymond Felton was an assistant coach for the Raptors yesterday, but I actually forgot to research if it actually was him or not. Oops. So, here's what happened in that game. Kyle Lowry and Cruz Boucher had 19 points each, and that was really funny. So they had Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, and Fred VanVleet from the bench, cheering on their teammates, and the rest, it was funny. And then as for the Sixers, Tobias Harris, 22 points. Furkan Korkmaz had 21 points, so it's 22-21, and a point total for Harris and Korkmaz. And then you also had Tobias Harris, along with Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons wasn't there because he's done for the year. But you also had, on the 76ers, cheering from the sidelines, you also had Al Horford and, well, they obviously traded away Markelle Fultz, so he's not on the team anymore. But you also had Shake Milton on the sideline, cheering on his teammates. And the Philadelphia 76ers, I think, are in a lot of trouble come playoff time. And Matisse Thybulle also played well for them. For the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, Josh Richardson was also cheering on his teammates. I just thought it was funny. I just thought the whole thing between those two teams was actually really funny. And there are some things that don't seem to be funny as of right now. I'm not talking about Toronto, Philadelphia. But I'm about to move on from this NBA topic, jumping right into the sport of baseball, where Brodie Van Wagenen continues to make bad moves. Well, that's simply because Marcus Stroman opted out for the year, and he will now be a free agent. Starting pitchers, Marcus Stroman is opted out for the season, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Stroman was traded for pitchers Anthony Kay, left-handed pitcher, and Simon Woods Richardson, right-handed pitcher. Kay is also in the big leagues for the Toronto Blue Jays. Woods Richardson can be also highly touted in their farm system as well, though, nonetheless. Another trade that was horrible for outfielder Jared Klenick and right-handed pitcher Justin Dunn for second baseman Robinson Cano, reliever Edwin Diaz. Right-handed pitcher. Save the day, Mets fans. On Monday, August 31st, the final bids for the sale will come. Steve Cohen, Alex Rodriguez, Jennifer Lopez, and Will Harris will make their final offers, though, nonetheless. I expect Steve Cohen to become the new owner and expect them to fire general manager Brodie Van Wagenen immediately, though, nonetheless. This team can't get anything right during the 60-game shortened season, though, nonetheless. The Wilpons, or should I say the Coupons, will soon hopefully be out of New York Mets fan base for life. They were crushed against the Washington Nationals 16-4 Monday night, with Steven Matz pitching, lost 2-1 on Tuesday night with Rick Porcello pitching, though, nonetheless. They are currently they're now in 4th place in the National League East standings, and expect manager Luis Ross to be fired, and can with new ownership, though, nonetheless. So what I find interesting is the New York Daily News posted, you should be very afraid of what happens next if what general manager Brodie Van Wagenen. No, he should not. He simply should not make trades for the present. He should make them for the future. Every attempts to do it with now mode. Get him out of my sight. Get him out of New York. Launch him on the catapult and make sure he lands safely. Because he's a joke. Simply because, and I'm not blaming Marcus Stroman for opting out, but he only played in 11 games for the New York Mets, and they hopefully should re-sign him. But Steve Cohen may bring out the wallet for him, as in Marcus Stroman, Trevor Bauer, And you got some other players. No, they're not going to pull down Mookie Betts. Maybe, and JT Realmuto the catcher was another one. So, and I don't think they bring out Steven Matz. The rotation next year should be Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, David Pederson, if they could resign, Marcus Stroman, and maybe add Trevor Bauer, make Robert Gesell as your sixth man, and keep Seth Lugo in your bullpen. And they happened to beat the Nationals last night. They scored 10, 11 runs against them, won like 11 to 6. Though nonetheless. So we'll see what happens in their rubber game today. And then, finally, in the last 8 minutes, drumroll please, the bold predictions for the 2020 NFL season is finally here. We are exactly one Sunday away, as in the 13th of September, from the NFL season kicking off as in that Sunday, and the Thursday, the 10th of September on a Thursday night. So let's get going. Bold prediction for the New York Giants. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley sparked the New York Giants to 10 wins in its first season, and Joe Judge's coach and tenure leads them to the postseason. Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts has more rushing yards than any Philadelphia Eagles running back. Washington football team. Chase Young records 18.5 sacks during his rookie season, maybe 16.5 or 17.5 sacks as well. Dallas Cowboys. It'll be more like 18.5. Dallas Cowboys. They only win 7 games and miss the playoffs and move on from quarterback Dak Prescott in the offseason. Green Bay Packers. The Aaron Rodgers Jordan Love saga will be too much of a distraction for the Green Bay Packers, and it will cause them to miss the playoffs. Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson will have 75 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Chicago Bears. Nick Foles will start more games than Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback after trading for Foles from the Jacksonville Jaguars in the offseason, though. Detroit Lions. They will move on from Matthew Stafford at the end of the season. Hold on one second. And then, next bold prediction after the Detroit Lions is the Atlanta Falcons. This team will finish top 5 in team offense. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady throws for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. You're going to be like, whoa, this guy, how old is he? Wow, how old is this guy? 42, 43? And you're like, he's going to get it done? He's going to get this done? You guys are just ridiculous. But he also has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You got O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski, on LaShawn McCoy in the backfield. And you got Ronald Barber and Keyshawn Vaughn there too. And Bruce Arians' aerial attack. We'll see how this goes. New Orleans Saints. They will finish in 3rd place in the NFC South. Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey wins Offensive Player of the Year. Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson finally wins MVP. San Francisco 49ers. Raheem Mostert rushes for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff takes another step back. Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins finishes with the most receiving yards in the NFL. Use promo code 12OZ all caps with deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. That was my second one of the day. Now moving on to the AFC Bowl predictions. Now let me just slow down here for the final 5 minutes of this show. And this is really, really, really intriguing. I'm just really intrigued. I'm just intrigued by the fact that I can't believe football season's almost here. And I also forgot to mention that the first Monday Night Football game is the 14th of September. So, on to the AFC. New York Jets. They don't finish with more than 4 wins. Adam Gase gets fired as the head coach. Well, you're trading away your best safety, Jamal Adams, to the Seattle Seahawks. And then they received a pick back and received a couple of picks back, as in a couple of first rounders. They got another safety, Keith Bradley McDougald. And the Jets also gave up a draft pick back as well. There's a 4th rounder. One of those picks one of the picks Jets got was next year, then the year after. And then the pick the Seahawks got was 2022. And then, as for the New England Patriots, they don't finish with more than 5 wins. All these players are opting out. I don't know what's going to be the deal with the Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham experiment. I don't know. Maybe Colin Cowherd of Fox Sports 1 is right after all. Although I really find it hard to believe that Bill Belichick doesn't want to win games this year, that maybe he wants to find his future quarterback like Trevor Lawrence of Clemson, Justin Fields of Ohio State, or maybe even Trey Lance of North Dakota State. And there's a quarterback from Kent State. You got Jamie Newman of Georgia. And then you have Minnesota quarterback. And I was going to say Nate Stanley of Iowa, but he's with the Vikings. He decided to declare earlier. And then you also have maybe some other quarterbacks that are under the radar. Sean Clifford of Penn State. He's not going to be a first rounder. We'll see how that goes. Next, they're going to draft a franchise-changing quarterback, and New England will land a top 10 pick and draft a franchise-changing quarterback after Tom Brady left for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the offseason. Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen has a very good season and finishes in the top 10 in passing yards. Miami Dolphins, they will finish in second place in the AFC East, but Miami will just miss the postseason. Pittsburgh Steelers, they will finish in last place in the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson doesn't have quite the season he had last year. Cleveland Browns, Nick Chubb will win the rushing title. Cincinnati Bengals, a Joe Burrow-led offense puts them top 10 in the NFL, and potentially maybe the best offense in the AFC North. Indianapolis Colts. I'm curious to see who's going to win that AFC North division, by the way. Indianapolis Colts, they will have a top 5 rushing offense with rookie Jordan Taylor, Marlon Mack, Jordan Wilkins, Nyheim Hines, Tennessee Titans. They will finish no worse than 3rd in the AFC standings. Jacksonville Jaguars, they will go 2-14. Houston Texans, they will have the worst ranked defense in the NFL. Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert starts and plays with Tyrod Taylor mid-season. Kansas City Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will account for the most touchdowns on the team other than Patrick Mahomes. Denver Broncos, Drew Lock will finish top 10 in passing yards and passing touchdowns in the second season. Last but not least, the Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr has a poorest season, gets traded in the offseason though nonetheless. All right, we are out of time here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in, Glenn's Dynamic Sports Corner. I'm your host, Glenn Kaplan. Hope you all enjoy your rest of your day and your weekend as well, nonetheless. And whatever you'll be doing as well, nonetheless. Oh, I wish I was at the beach today, but whatever. I will be back on the air at the same time as Monday. I'll be going some more NBA and NHL topics, more about regards to the 2020 NFL regular season, and on other NFL topics, and some other 2020 MLB topics, though, as well, nonetheless. Maybe some merchandise as well, nonetheless. We'll see. Use promo code 12OZ Sports. All cash for deposit bonus up to $1,000 for my bookie. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. Be safe and also be well, and also enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Pete's Power Plays with Philly Pete starts now on 12 Ounce Sports.
And that is the cue. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Thursday, August 13th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only king on the ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. This show, as always, is sponsored by MyBookie. When going on to mybookie.ag, please make sure you use the promo code 12Ounce Sports. That's 12OZ Sports. All one word when making your first deposit today, and they will match your first deposit up to $1,000. You really don't want to be missing your chance to be cashing out all these awesome plays that we can give to you guys. And what can I say? What can I say? Hockey has been going off right now for everybody. All my plays, again, for the most part, have been cashing out pretty good. All the Twitter plays from the last couple of days have been doing good. Again, besides Sunday, we've been rocking and rolling with these NHL plays. Clients have been doing pretty good. They went 2-2 yesterday, however, with their winners being the Flyers money line and the Avalanche money line. So clients, even on the day, but it's all good. So we will get back into the action tonight and today, like always. Clients that just signed up with me, welcome aboard. And again, thank you for your appreciation and your trusting in Philly Pete. It never goes unnoticed. So thank you again. Your plays will be out as soon as I am done this show this afternoon. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Thursday, August 13th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete. And again, we're live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761, mybookie.ag, 12 Ounce Sports as the promo code 12OZ Sports. Make sure you add that when you're making your first deposit, and they will match your deposit. Like I said, and I always keep saying, up to $1,000. And also, Zingo TV, make sure that you sign up for a Zingo TV account. Make sure you download the app on your smart TV, but make sure you sign up with an account for Zingo TV. And when doing so, they have a promo code. Make sure you put in 12OZ, 12 ounce. Simple as that. And you'll be streaming live all of our phenomenal shows that we can provide to you on the 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV as well. And of course, if you're tuning in right now, you'll be hearing my lovely voice right now, talking live as we speak and talk hockey. So let's get into the action. Those that listen to my 1 hour special Tuesday and Wednesday, thank you so much for tuning in. That had all my plays and breakdowns for Tuesday's games, all my plays and breakdowns for Wednesday's games as well. I know I kept retweeting it out just so all of you ladies and gentlemen out there that love to wager hockey as much as I do had the correct leans and breakdowns so that you can make the correct wager and beating your bookie. What can I say? So thanks again. A lot of viewers too. It was phenomenal. It was very nice to see. So, but back at it today, half-hour show like usual. We're gonna go over the recap of Tuesday and Wednesday games. So, rest of the whole, let's get into this real quick. So yesterday we had we had 4 plays on the menu for the 11th. So August 11th plays, we had the Canes plus 1.5 with the Flames plus 1.5 parlay at plus 105. That was a winner. The Hurricanes game was postponed till yesterday morning due to the just basically a 2-gamer of the Lightning and the Jackets. No one wanted to win that game. So, but hey, listen, it is what it is. So Canes Flames puck line parlay at plus 1.5 cashed out with a little bit of value. Flames Stars over 5 was a push. Jackets plus 1 was a push. And then the Knights and Hawks over 1.5 first period was a loser. Hey, I thought this was going to be a nice winner. But hey, Vegas has been playing really good hockey. Their defense, they're a very good defensive team as well. A lot of people don't know that, but they play defense very well. So, and then for yesterday's plays, like I said, I didn't post anything because they were all on my show. So those that tuned in got the correct leans and breakdowns. So basically, there you have it. But again, my apologies. I was at a golf outing yesterday. It took all day. It was also storming in my area, so it got delayed a little bit. So that's when I was tweeting some stuff out during the time. But, we got back into it. We were there for about 6-7 hours. So it was a good time, great cause. But once again, those that missed out on yesterday's plays, make sure you had to tune in to get the plays for yesterday. And congrats to those that cashed out. But here we go. Overall recap of my NHL season right now is 564 wins, 400 losses, and 17 pushes. That gives me a grand total right now of plus 144.4 units. We are still rocking and rolling this NHL season right now, and what can I say? I'm thrilled. I love where things are going right now, and hey, More and more clients sign up by the day, by the hour. So again, thanks for all your support and appreciation when signing up with me. Those that want to sign up for to be a client for Philly Pete, make sure you're following me at The Real Pete Tooch. You search up PT. I'm one of the first guys there. Can't miss me. And I'll answer all your questions when it comes to, of course, my packages. I have 3 packages available strictly for the NHL playoffs. It's not too late, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too late to sign up. Again, the community of Philly Pete keeps growing and growing by the day. So, we know how it is. You know my success. My numbers don't lie. I am one of, if not the hottest capper when it comes to NHL plays right now in the game and on Twitter. So if you don't believe me, again, look at my record and my units. My units show the truth. What can I say? So, and I'm also one of the most transparent cappers in the game as well. You don't get that a lot from people. So those that do and are transparent cappers, I give you the most outright respect for each and every one of you. So, and you got to be honest with your people. You have to be absolutely honest. So once again, I have an NHL package that's still rocking and rolling right now. Package 2 is my daily fantasy football package for FanDuel and DraftKings. You get 2 lineups each week. Last year we were in Fuego with daily fantasy football. We were in the green. I think clients last year won over $1,000 with each, I believe, $5 to $10 play they put down. So hey, again, you got to put the money where your mouth is. And package 3 is a mix of both. You have the NHL playoffs, all the rest of the NHL playoffs, and the daily fantasy football. So again, we're good to go. But rush to hold again, and also any fantasy football strategy or questions, you let me know. I am one of the best fantasy football gurus out there as well when it comes to fantasy football. I run stuff when it comes to fantasy football leagues. I'm in about 6 or 7 fantasy leagues each year, and I usually win about 5 of them every year. So again, stats and numbers don't lie, and when it comes to the best, I am one of the best. So here you have it. There you have it. So just follow me at The Real Pete Tooch. I'll answer all your questions. So let's get into today's show. But first and foremost, real quick, once again, I got to get this out there. MyBookie.ag. When signing up for an account, make sure you use a promo code 12ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports. All one word. When making your first deposit, and they will match your first deposit up to $1,000. You really don't want to be missing all of these tickets that I'm giving out on my show for free, and then taking care of MyBookie.ag. So definitely check that out. Awesome casino, by the way, too. Just a side note. And then Zingo TV, channel 761. Please, those that do not have an account, get an account for Zingo TV and use the promo code 12ounce, 12OZ. And from there, you'll be streaming live my beautiful voice talking to you guys right now, and ladies. So make sure you get a Zingo TV account, and you'll be locked and loaded, not only with Philly Pete and Pete's Power Plays, but the other shows that we can provide to you on 12ounce sports. All of our crew is phenomenal on our sports. So whatever it may be, 12ounce sports is the way to go if you want to hear the best in the business when it comes to sports capping and just sports in general. We are a great source. So there you have it. But let us get into it now. Columbus, the first game, 3 o'clock. Columbus Blue Jackets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Over-under set at 5. This is phenomenal. I know the first game ended at 3-2 in overtime. That's a push regardless. A lot of people that I know in the first game took the over 5.5. I was on the under 5.5. This was a game where, I actually had 6 in the books too. So the under 6 was a cash. The under 5.5 was a cash. Sometimes you have to fade other cappers when it comes to Twitter. If you see a lot of people on one game, you could be that literally less than 1% guy on Twitter that's taken the other way. And then at the end of the day, you could be the one cashing out. So this is why I went the other way. I leaned strongly on the under 5.5 in that game. Under 6, whatever you had in game 1 of Tampa and Columbus. I also had Columbus plus 1.5 in the puck line. That cashed out as well. So there you have it. But here we go. Over-under set at 5. And Tampa Bay is a minus 175 on the money line. 65% of the money is on the money line for Tampa. And Columbus, again, a plus 155 on the money line. And 35% of the money is on Columbus. First and foremost, I'm going with the over 5. I mean, when Philly, this is a daily routine now. When you see it over under at 5, you should expect, when you're listening to the show, you should expect that, hey, you know what, Philly Pete's going to take the over 5, no doubt in my mind. When I see a 5, it's an automatic 5 over for me. You just got to hope for a push. And if you even took an under 5, you're still going to push anyway. But for me, when I see 5s across the board, even when I was capping back in March, even last year when I started capping NHL and had my clients and all my Twitter plays for everybody, 5s were always a key, no matter what. No matter what, you just hope to expect a push at 5. It's a great number, no matter what. So when you see this game here, listen, it ended at 5 in game 1. You can potentially see another 5-goal game as well. Hopefully not 5 overtimes this time. But either way, that was an awesome game. I watched all of it from puck drop in the afternoon to 8:30 at night. Whatever it may be, it was a great game. So over/under at 5 for me for Columbus and Tampa. I'm going with the over, obviously. And again, Columbus is showing such great heart. And, they gave Tampa their all. And I'm sure Tampa, at the end of the first period, or literally all game, was like, oh, man, here we go again. Columbus is going to get our number. But Tampa, long and behold, they finally got their goal really, really late into the game, obviously. But, again, 26-12, Columbus. In their last 28 when covering the puck line. 26-12, that's unreal. So again, that's a no-brainer for me. I'm going Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 on the puck line here to cover. More than likely, we'll take it straight up, the plus 1.5, because the money line is pretty high. But to be honest, if you want a little bit more bang for your buck, I recommend parlaying Columbus Blue Jackets puck line with some other team that's playing this afternoon. On their puck line is a little bit more value there. So, all in all in this game, the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5 on the puck line and the over 5. This is a game where Columbus has to bounce back, and, it took a lot out of them. I mean, they competed, it's a shame because the NHL put them as the first game, in this round too, of course, after they just played a hell of a game against Toronto Sunday night. So, what they did to Columbus was a low ball for sure. It's a shame. But they still showed their true colors, and they kicked some butt. I mean, they looked really good, Columbus. Even after playing like almost 4 games, after playing almost 2 games worth of hockey right there. So, basically, but, like I said, close to 3 games, I should say. With that being said, for this game, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, puck drop, 12 p.m. out west. And, once again, over 5 for Columbus and Tampa, and the puck line plus 1.5 for Columbus. Moving on, and first and foremost, real quick, my Rise and Shiners out west at 9:15 out in the west. Get that cup of Joe, and also tune in right now to none other than the King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete, and another episode, August 13th, 2020 episode of Pete's Power Plays. I'm coming to you live on 12 Ounce Sports and, of course, Zingo TV, channel 761. Tune in right now. You don't want to miss today's plays. Moving on, 5:30 puck drop in Edmonton. You have Chicago Blackhawks against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas absolutely destroyed Chicago in Game 1. And you know what? I expect to see a little bit more of that. I love Vegas here. I like Vegas -1. That's why I'm not playing the money line, because it's -205. Some books are even showing -210. It's a lot of over 200s here, which is just too juicy for me. But Vegas -1 looks pretty good to me after that showing in Game 1. I expect more of the same Vegas team for sure. And this team is one of the best, if not the best, defensive teams in the NHL, especially in the Western Conference. This team is just all out, has every piece to their puzzle. When it comes to goaltending, when it comes to offense, and when it comes to defense, they could do it all. And that's the Vegas Golden Knights. So give me the Knights -1. Over-under for me is set at 5.5 at -130. I'm going with the over 5.5 here. I know we got low-balled. The clients got low-balled the other night when the over-under was at 6. I locked it in early. It went up to 6.5. I expected another goal at least by Chicago to even push the bet there. But hey, it is what it is. I liked it. I liked it. That's why it was a client play. I actually loved it. And the fact that it went up a half a goal just made me love it even more. So, but again, I'm riding with the over 5.5 in this game. And again, even though Chicago's 25-14 in the last 39 when covering the puck line at +1.5, just this Vegas team is just really that good. So, like I said, the Blackhawks lost game one, thanks, of course, to just 20 shots on goal for the game. Chicago obviously knows that it's not going to get done there. So the Hawks won their series with the Oilers, obviously, a quality team, which we all know. Thanks to getting they got pucks on the net and were very aggressive against Edmonton, especially in the offensive zone. Chi-Town averaged 4 goals per game in that series with Edmonton, and definitely they need to dial things up a notch here in game 2. Otherwise, it's going to be 0-2, and they're already in a hole. And I think at that point, Vegas will probably win the series in 5, to be honest here. But the problem for the Hawks here is that they've allowed an average about 3.8 goals, about 4 goals per game in their last 5 so far in the bubble. Vegas, on the other hand, is averaging 4.5 goals per game in regulation time of their 4 games in the postseason. So again, this is another reason why I like the over again, even though it didn't cash the first game. Again, Chicago is, their backs are not against the wall fully yet, but this is a game where you expect them to see a little bit more aggression for Chicago. Maybe more than a goal this time. I'm hoping there is, because I love the over 5.5 regardless. Max Pack, my man, he's back. Obviously, Tuesday's game 1 was the first time in the postseason that the Knights have allowed less than 3 goals. So this is why I like to play here with the over. Especially, if the total is at 5.5, if you can get 5.5, because all across the board here, 8 out of my 10 books that I have up right now are showing 5.5 at -135. The other 2 are showing 6 at +105. So again, if you want to take 6, go ahead. At worst case, you hope for a push this time. But I just think that I feel like this should be another 6.5 over/under. But the fact that if you're getting 5.5 at -135, I'm going back into it. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So, and why not? This is a game where, like I said, Chicago needs to get some sort of a bounce back and get a couple more goals in the net here. So give me the over 5.5 in this game as a very strong Philly Pete lean here, and quite possibly the strongest play of the day for me, for sure. I do like the over 5.5 at -135, and we can all cash out together because this will be a free client play for everybody. So those that signed up, you're going to get your other plays today. But again, this is Philly Pete giving back to his fans, his Twitterverse fans, and this is going to be a free client play for everybody. So Chicago, Vegas over 5.5 -135 is a exclusive client play for Philly Pete, but it's going to be free for the whole world and those that are tuning in, of course, because you guys are, my true fans that come in. So those fans that tune in and log in and hear me, thank you so much. But there you have it. So I'm thinking this could be like I could see a 4-3 game here for Vegas. I could even see a 5-3 game here for Vegas. But I really think Chicago's going to score more than 1 goal compared to game 1. So all in all, I like Vegas -1. The over 5.5 at -135, obviously, like I said, is one of the strongest plays for me tonight. I love this over. Once again, this is a free client play for everybody. So you will get this when I send my plays out to you all. Moving on. Carolina and Boston. I love Carolina bounce back here. They showed true heart yesterday. Like I said, tough loss in overtime yesterday. Carolina had that, and they fought their way back, being down, coming back, tying up the game. They did it all game. And to me, I just think that Carolina is due for, they're still up for revenge. Okay, they're still up for revenge. And the money line for Carolina is +130. Okay, Boston got lucky. They got lucky in game 1 tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern in Toronto. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes. We are on hurricane warning alert right now, ladies and gentlemen, in the East Coast. So, Carolina Hurricanes, let's go. Wave those flags, baby. It's time. Bring the kids inside from the tide that's coming in. The hurricane is rocking and rolling, baby. We have those gusts, those force of winds coming in right now. Give me Carolina Hurricanes +130 on the money line. Philly Pete's dog of the day right there. Give me the Carolina Hurricanes +1.5 on the puck line. They're covering it 20-17 in their last 37 puck line bets. Give me that as well. Over/under set at 5.5. If I had to take a guess here, this is a really, really light lean for me. I like the over 5.5, but You know what? I like the team total in Carolina as well. Over 2.5. You can get, if you get two. I have two. I have 2 and 2.5. 2 is really juicy. It's minus 175. The over 2.5 is at plus 105. So you're getting a little bit of value here with the team total for Carolina. I think Carolina's going to win this game. Give me the money line at plus 130. Give me Carolina plus 1.5 in the puck line. Give me the team total for Carolina over 2 or 2.5, whatever you may have it at. Most of my books that I have up right now are showing 2.5 at plus odds here. I like it here. I expect fireworks from Carolina. I see a very aggressive game tonight. They're going to go after it. Rod Brindamore was fined. You know what? It's just more of a way to fire this Hurricanes team up. And let's go. Let's go. Philly Pete's all over Carolina today. And what can I say? They're also a Stanley Cup future for Philly Pete as well and his clients. So let's rock and roll. Hurricanes, don't disappoint us. We know you should have won game 1. Let's get game 2. So once again, Carolina money line plus 130. Carolina plus 1.5 on the puck line. Give me Carolina plus or over team total 2.5 goals at plus odds. And we're rocking and rolling here when we play there 8 o'clock tonight in Toronto. Last but not least, you have the nightcap. You have Calgary Flames against the Dallas Stars over there in Edmonton. Obviously, after following the Chicago-Vegas game. What can I say? Calgary looked good. This looked like I had the over 5 last game, but I was rocking the Flames all in game 1 as well. I had the Flames money line. I had the Flames to cover the puck line. I also had the Flames and Dallas over 5. It really looked good. When you saw 2-2, I'm like, okay, well, you're guaranteed to push. You saw 3-2 with about halfway through the game, and you were hoping for an empty net goal to get the over, but it did not hit. It's okay. You win some, you lose some. Hey, you even push some, and that's what we did. So again, this over-under, guess what it is? It's at the lovely 5 spot again. So, well, I already discussed the Tampa Bay Columbus game at 5. You know where I'm going. Well, no need to be alarmed. This portion of the show should be on mute because you know what's going to happen. I want to say, hey, over 5 again, and that's where I'm going. So, Calgary, Dallas, over-under at 5. I'm going with the over 5 yet again there between these two teams. I'm also going Calgary on the money line at minus 120. But, so again, these books are flipping and flopping. You have Calgary on some books at minus 120. You have them at minus 105. You have some at plus 105. Dallas is even getting the money line, basically the money line favor in this game too. So it's half and half. However, I still like Calgary, the plus 1.5 on the puck line. Dallas is a whopping 13 and 23 when covering the puck line. They did not cover it last game, obviously, as a favor. Now, Calgary, it's gonna be really juicy. I'm seeing Calgary plus 1.5 at minus 250 to cover the puck line. This is when you want to parlay this puck line with Columbus, let's just say, because I like it. Hell, you can even make a 3-team parlay for puck lines between Calgary, Carolina, and Columbus plus 1.5. You're going to get a good value payout as well. It looks like it's paying out at plus 200. But again, that's a tough 3-team to do. You would think it's guaranteed, but the way hockey has been, you never know. Everything's up in the air. So, but for me, I'm all over Calgary yet again. I like Calgary in the money line, whatever it may be. I like Calgary the plus 1.5 in the puck line because they're 24 and 16 in their last 40. They covered in game 1. They're going to cover again tonight. And the over 5. What can I say? So again, I'm all over Calgary. Give me Calgary on the money line. Give me Calgary plus 1.5 in the puck line. And give me the over 5 for Calgary and Dallas Stars. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. But let me go over all my plays real quick. I got about 5 minutes left. But first and foremost, once again, for the last time this week and for the show. This show, of course, Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only king of the ice himself, Philly Pete. Again, we are live on 12 Ounce Sports and Zingo TV, channel 761. This show, as always, and will always be sponsored by MyBookie.ag. Please make sure you use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports, that's 12OZ Sports, when signing up and making an account for MyBookie. And when doing so, they will match your deposit up to $1,000. Yeah, no, I did not hesitate there. I said $1,000 because they will. And, you really, ladies and gentlemen out there that are tuning in right now, you really don't want to miss your chance to cash out all these hockey plays I'm giving out for you guys. Whether it is just live plays, whether it's I rarely give out live plays, but when I do, I know I'm confident in them. So that's why I give them out to you guys. That's why I want you guys to take them and cash out with me. So whether it's live betting from Philly Pete, whether it's the Twitterverse list I give out for everybody, the free plays for all my fans out there, whether it's free client plays for everybody out there, make sure you sign up with a mybookie.ag account and use that promo code 12ouncesports. Please, please, please. You want to start cashing out today and start making some money in those pockets. So there you have it. Now, I know basketball playoffs are starting. They're right around the corner. We know that. Another reason why to get on mybookie.ag. NFL season is starting up less than a month away. We know that's another easy going when it comes to betting sports in general. But again, you want to bet all these sports on mybookie.ag. And once again, 12-ounce sports is the promo code, and they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. They also have a great casino as well. So if you're in the middle of watching a game, if there's a commercial break for an icing, hey, by all means, go put out some dollar bets on blackjack or roulette, whatever it may be. So there you have it right there. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, please go to Zingo TV. Make an account with Zingo TV. Make sure you have the app installed first. Then make an account with Zingo TV. And then when doing so, in the promo code section, use 12-ounce, 12OZ. Simple as that. You'll be good to go, and you'll be streaming live all of our phenomenal shows that we can provide to you on 12-ounce sports and Zingo TV, including yours truly, Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete. And again, make sure you're tuning in to channel 761. Simple as that. So thank you, Zingo TV, for all of that. But here we go. Last but not least, the final rundown of today's plays. Again, 3 o'clock Eastern Time in Toronto, Columbus, Tampa. Over-under set at 5. Philly Pete's going with the over. Columbus to cover the puck line at +1.5 as well. They're 26-12 in the last 38 games on the puck line. Take them to cover +1.5 and the over 5. Chicago, Vegas. This is a free client play for everybody. The over 5.5 at -135. I also like Vegas -1 to win the game. I really think that with Vegas' defense, they're going to beat. It's going to be tough for Chicago to keep up. But I really expect Chicago to score more than 1 goal in this game to give us that over 5.5. So again, free client play for everybody. The over 5.5 for Vegas and Chicago. And the -1 for Vegas to win the game. Again, expect a push. I expect hopefully a 4-2 win here so we can cash out that over 5.5. But again, we need some help from Chicago in this game. Carolina and Boston. Once again, I'm all over Carolina. The Hurricane is rolling in as we speak. Carolina money line +130 as Philly Pete's dog of the day right there. Carolina team total over 2.5. That's some positive value at +105. And Carolina +1.5 on the puck line as well. I'm all over Carolina today. Let's get it. And then last but not least, the Calgary Flames and the Dallas Stars. Again, I'm all over Calgary once again. I just love how they've been playing. Give me Calgary on the money line. Whatever you have it, they could be +105, they could be -105. It depends on your book. But I'm going Calgary on the money line. I'm going Calgary on the puck line at +1.5 because they're also covering that. They're 24-16 in their last 40 when covering the puck line. So give me the +1.5 on the puck line. And of course, another over 5 game here as well. Philly Pete's saying the over 5 yet again. So give me the Calgary money line, puck line at +1.5. And the over 5 when they play Dallas. So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last show of the week. I hope everyone has a phenomenal weekend, and I will be back on Tuesday like normal. Let's cash out some tickets, and happy hockey. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. See ya. Bye.